We all have an inner flame inside of us. We were born with it, and it will burn long after we leave this life and reunite with whatever comes next. This inner flame is what connects us to the essence of our being. It is what makes us more than just a body and a mind, but what unifies us with all of nature around us. The inner flame is in accordance with the seasons. It ebbs and flows in power and strength depending on where we are in our lives and how we're responding to our environment and our relationships and the experiences we call in this lifetime. There is so much importance about keeping this inner flame aglow. Just like the pilot light in your fireplace or your stovetop, your inner flame, though it's always burning, can burn strongly, it can burn weakly, and everything in between. And it is your responsibility as the captain of this life, as the owner of your body, to keep your inner flame burning strongly. Now, this is much easier said than done, especially in a modern culture where there's a lot of hustle bustle, expectations, external pressures for who you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to function throughout your lifespan. There's a great deal of authenticity required in circling back to the inner flame and how it feels like it burns when you're living in the highest integrity with yourself and with your truth. So this is why there's no one-size-fits-all way to fan your inner flame. It's really important that you find the ways that work best for you, things that feel like a yes or that light you up and make you feel alive and inspired and excited. Those are some of the words you want to be really aiming for when you're building that inner flame. You want to feel vitality running through your body, motivation, excitement, inspiration, and connection to something beyond yourself, be that a higher power or other people or a large community. However you're feeling connected, once you can feel like your flame is burning strong enough within you that it radiates beyond you and helps to improve and touch the lives of other people, that is how we impact real lasting change, not only in our own lives, but in our families, our communities and societies, and even the world at large. Imagine how it would feel globally if every individual person was taking exquisite care of their inner flame. So much so that they not only radiated beautiful brilliance within themselves, but also beyond themselves and into the collective. That, my friends, is how we grow a healthier society and how we build our communities into a global radiating strength. There are a lot of benefits that come along with having a strong inner flame. When your flame is burning strongly inside of you, you're more able to participate in your life in a way that feels alive and aligned. You feel deeper connection with your relationships and with yourself, and you're able to put more into the purpose and the meaning of your existence. So it is crucial that you feed this inner flame with the different experiences and tools and resources that feel aligned for you, be they art making or singing, any other creative endeavors, or it might be connecting with aligned people. It might be resonating with work that feels meaningful for you or important in the larger spectrum of your life. You might feel your inner flame starts to grow when you meet yourself with love and kindness and nurturance. There's nothing that your system needs more from you than your own support and love. So experiment in your life and figure out what helps you feel that lightening, that inspiration building, and that vitality coursing through you. And then when you start to feel depleted and low, do more of that thing that brings your flame to life. Now we're going to talk about the three main culprits for what can affect your flame and make it burn low. There are so many different factors, and you may resonate with one or all of these, and you may find that there are more things that influence your flame that I haven't mentioned. So keep in mind that this is not one size fits all, and that everyone will have their own factors when it comes to their inner flame. The first thing that I want to address is something that's so common in our everyday life in this modern society, and it is exhaustion and burnout. Now, if there is something that will diminish your flame, it is when you are running endlessly on that hedonic treadmill, which is running and running towards some imaginary horizon where you feel like there's a there to get to, where you'll feel better, where you'll feel accomplished, where it'll be like enough. That's the hedonic treadmill. And the hard part of that in our society is that there's no there to get to. It will never be enough for the pace and lifestyle that our society demands, mostly because a large part of our society is built off of algorithms and robots that aren't even human. So when we try to strive and keep striving and never refuel and re-nourish ourselves along the way, it's a one-way ticket to burnout. And I will tell you from experience that once you crash and burn in that burnout place, it takes a really long time to rejuvenate and come through back to your vitality and fanning that flame to burn more brightly within yourself. So the key to avoiding that diminished flame is to avoid exhaustion and burnout at any cost. And the most important way to do this is by touching in with your body on a very frequent basis and asking yourself, if you're feeling depleted, how are you nourishing yourself? This is more than just self-care. This is saying no to things that don't feel aligned for you. It's also cutting yourself off when you start to feel like those reserves are being pushed to the surface and you're working harder than maybe you have the capacity or the resources to sustain. And it also involves allowing yourself to really reflect on, why are you burning it so hard? Why are you working so tirelessly towards this specific goal? And is that truly the intention and the method of existence that you choose for yourself in this life? This is an invitation into your own inner work, and it possibly connects to some old patterns or even some inner child wounds about enoughness, belonging, and love. These are great things to talk to a therapist or a coach about if you want to dive in a little more deeply. But hustle, burnout, and exhaustion severely diminish your inner flame. The next piece that I want to discuss is self-abandonment. Self-abandonment is highly diminishing to your inner flame because it doesn't hold integrity for who you truly are at your core essence level and what your needs and your boundaries and preferences are. We can self-abandon in all kinds of ways. This happens relationally. It also happens when we're driving ourselves too hard towards a means to an end or a goal that's not aligned for us. So alignment is really important when you're thinking about how to move toward less self-abandonment and higher authentic integrity in your life. Authentic integrity is a term I use to sort of combine together the power of authenticity and integrity to help you connect with the inner compass that is so strong within you and always driving you towards your true north, if only you'll listen. The practice that I use most to identify if I'm aligned with my true north and if I'm not self-abandoning is what I call true yes and true no. I explore it just by feeling into the body. If I think about a certain preference or a certain person, do I feel a lightness, a brightness, a sense of vitality in my body, which would indicate a yes? Or do I feel a heaviness and a tightness and maybe a twisted sensation in my body, which would indicate no? Now, this can be used for preferences, needs, desires, as small as what do we want to have for dinner, this or that? Or it can be used for larger choices, like how do I feel about this person in my life? Or do I want to make this large commitment? The same sensations of yes and no apply across the board, no matter what choices you're making. And once you start to listen to the body, When you hear a no, that's an indication that you're edging a little too close to self-abandonment territory, and your body is flagging you, saying, this doesn't feel good for me. This isn't headed in a direction that will support my inner flame and my authentic integrity. I just want to spend a second here talking about the people-pleasing tendencies, because this is one of the main ways that we self-abandon relationally when we're in connection with others. People pleasing most often comes from a very, very young pattern that was created in your childhood experiences or after, where you learned that you have to make other people happy first and foremost before yourself in order to earn belonging, love, and safety. It's important as an adult that you learn, if you do have these people-pleasing behaviors, that there's a really big difference between being kind and being a people pleaser. People pleasing is very transactional. It has the core belief system that if I give you what you want, if I behave in ways that are in accordance with your needs, with no regard to my own, then you will give me love and belonging. Kindness of the truest form doesn't have that kind of narrative. It's based on generosity for the sake of generosity and kindness without transaction. So if you notice that there's a people-pleasing tendency inside of you, just know for today that that is a form of self-abandonment, and that it is asking for you to heal it. It wants you to give it your attention and your love and focus so that you can increase that flame and give to yourself in ways that will allow you to give to others, to care for others in ways that feel so much more genuine to your authentic self and who you truly are. The third factor that can really diminish your inner flame is having unhealed trauma or mental health issues that are unstable and untreated. We all carry around wounds from our inner child experience, from our patterning through life, and depending on how we hold space for these wounds in adulthood really depends on how strongly our inner flame can burn and support us through our life. The adult life is so much different than the child life. It includes so much more responsibility and so much more participation in ways that children do not have to have responsibility for. So it's really important that we look at the places in our lives that we may have been snagged in childhood with trauma or patterns that were unhealthy, and we heal them in adulthood. This might mean a deep dive with a therapist. It might mean exploring different support resources in books or podcasts. Like my book, The Radiant Life Project, would be a great resource to begin with this. But it's really important that the layers inside of you that were fractaled off and damaged through life in the normal course of life. It's normal to have experiences that are feeling harmful, detrimental, and even traumatic, because honestly, this life is full of challenges. But it's important that we take accountability to heal them, so that our inner light can burn strongly and beautifully and propel us through our life with meaning and purpose. It's important to know that the body is always seeking healing, always. So if you allow yourself, your body will guide you toward what it needs to heal, because it wants your inner flame to be burning brightly. It wants you to be living with vitality and inspiration so that you can shine your light into the world. Sometimes we just have to listen, and we have to participate in the work that feels aligned for our mind, our body, and our soul in the phase of existence that we find ourselves in. Those are the three factors that I'll address today that I think are the most common for diminishing that inner fire. The first is exhaustion and burnout. The second is self-abandonment. And the third is unhealed trauma and mental health issues. I invite you to focus on your inner flame for a moment. This will just be a short experiential. So just close your eyes and sink in with your breathing. Allow yourself to notice how it feels to be you in this moment, how it feels in your body. Sense your feet on the floor. Sense the room around you. And see if you can ask yourself, where inside of my being is my inner flame? It might be somewhere inside of your body. It might be just outside of your body. See if you can sense its warmth, its light. And then notice if you can even visualize what this inner flame looks like. It might look like fire. It might look like an orb of light. There's no right or wrong here. Just allow yourself to expand your imagination and explore this in depth. And as you continue to explore your inner flame, notice, how large or small is it? Does it feel like it's burning at capacity? Or is it maybe so diminished that it's hard to find? And without judgment, simply just notice the quality of your inner flame. And if it feels like it needs a boost, if your flame is burning really low, see if you can send your breath to that exact location and visualize your flame growing stronger in accordance with the breath and the cadence of inhale and exhale, really affecting and influencing the size of that inner flame. And when you're ready, you can come out of this visualization knowing that you can return to it at any time and that your breath and your intention are always there to support your inner flame. And I'd like you to think in closing today about one commitment you'd like to make to yourself related to your inner flame. How would you like to show up for yourself in new or familiar ways that support the burning of this essential fire within yourself? This light that has so much capacity and potential to radiate your own life and ripple into the lives of others. Think of one commitment you'd like to make to yourself right now. You can speak it to yourself internally or aloud, or you can write it down and post it somewhere where you'll see it frequently. The inner flame is such a crucial part of living a meaningful life. If you would like to have a companion for this meaningful inner work, please check out my brand new book, The Radiant Life Project. Awaken your purpose, heal your past, and transform your future. You are the greatest project of your entire life. You are an ongoing project that has no end, so you are the most important place to focus your attention, awareness, and your healing powers. This book will help guide you, and I hope it brings light and support for the levels of healing and inner growth that you are most ready for, and I hope it helps you to fan that beautiful inner flame that is your birthright in this existence.